This is your friendly ex-Muslim. Subboor Ahmad blasted David Wood recently for, you'll never guess, speaking up about Uyghur women. Wait, what? Yes, you heard me right. He uploaded a video called Message to David Wood on the Uyghurs. #shorts. Let's see what he said.
David Wood made a video defending the Uyghurs. This is welcome by everybody because we of course need as many platforms to speak about this issue as possible. However, there is a serious issue. The same Islamophobia that he supports in the Western world, the same dehumanization of the Muslims, the same hatred that he spreads is exactly the same as what the Chinese Communist Party is doing, except the latter does it on steroids and he does it in a lesser form. So how can he, in the same breath, defend the Uyghurs, yet he supports the same Islamophobic industry in the Western world? Something for him to reflect about.
So this video annoyed me because if there's one thing I hate, it's not giving credit where it's due. In this case, as much as you might not like David, you should have credited him properly for what he did here.
Only strict dictatorship like China is a solution. I would not agree with that at all. China is committing a cultural genocide in the front of everyone's eyes in our time.
I've seen people say, the Chinese, they got the right idea. Guys, you understand these are communists, right? And they're carrying out genocide, right? You can disagree with the ideology, but presumably most of us are disagreeing with the ideology because it's so violent and how much it produces contempt for people. And then you should also be criticizing the Chinese when they do that sort of stuff. Just because you get really angry at Islam and what a lot of Muslims have done doesn't mean you say, well, great, they're slaughtering them. And
I mean, think about it. There is a major atrocity going on in our time, and people are not reacting. Cultural genocide is going on in China. It's not only going on against the Muslim population, by the way, but also against certain other minorities in the country that are not Muslims. But just think about the Muslim population. We're talking about humans. We're not just talking about the religion or people that you are angry about because you don't like Islam or because you don't like Muslims. We're talking about humans, about human life. Think about a random child in China that is an Uyghur Muslim in China, and one day your parents are suddenly taken away to a place, and they don't come back. You're waiting for them, and they don't come back. And you are brought into the custody of other people, of the government, or of other people who re-educate you and make you love the Chinese government, the Chinese regime. And one day you find out that your parents are apparently in some camp, in a Chinese re-education camp, which they were forced into, where they were tortured, mentally and physically tortured, because they happened to have some ideas that the Chinese regime considers dangerous and disrespectful to their own existence, which is why they torture this tiny group, this tiny ethnic group. It is sick, man. It doesn't matter who those people are, what they believe in. We're talking about human beings.
Standing up for the rights of Chinese Muslims. Subboor doesn't know how to say thank you. On one hand, he says, thank you for defending the Uyghur women, but... And then he puts a long rant about how bad David Wood actually is and how he's actually the problem and the reason for Muslim suffering in the world and for spreading Islamophobia. The best way to encourage people to speak out more about causes you care about is not to thank someone and appreciate them for speaking about your cause, but to criticize them even when they do the right thing. You gotta love the audacity. David Wood is in no way attached to the Uyghur Muslim issue, being neither Muslim nor Uyghur, yet he took the time to speak about it and defend those poor Muslims on his platform. Because as much as he hates Islam, he doesn't hate Muslims. Or at least that's what's apparent to me and everyone else. You might deem it a bit paternalistic for us to say this, but in some ways we do see Muslims as victims of Muhammad and Islam. Many Muslims just don't realize just how terrible the Prophet really was, or how incorrect and flawed their ideology is. So that's where we come in. However, when it comes to abusing human beings, that line cannot be crossed. For me as a humanist, or for David Wood as a Christian, this is our red line, and we stick to our values. Now, Subboor, you are really your own worst enemy here. Instead of crediting him and joining forces on something that matters to both of you, more to you should be, what do? You shit on him for being Islamophobic. Yes, folks, Muslims' favorite ad hominem. You are an Islamophobe. You can never do anything right, no matter when you do something right. I'm a what? An Islamophobe. And what is an Islamophobe? Wikipedia defines it as the fear of, hatred of, or prejudice against the religion of Islam or Muslims in general, especially when seen as a geopolitical force or the source of terrorism. So we can see that the term is problematic. It lumps both the religion and Muslims into the same category. If you're a Muslim and I asked you, do you hate Taghut? Do you hate dhulm? Do you hate shirk? Do you hate oppression and fitna and disbelief against Allah? Do you love Allah, love His Messenger, and love all that Islam brings? If so, then why are you allowed to love and hate, but we are not allowed the same? Clearly, if you hate disbelief, then we can hate Islam if we want to. It's a system, for crying out loud. It has harms and benefits that we are allowed to evaluate if we so choose to. If Islamophobia is a thing, then Islamophilia is a thing. If Islamophobia is a thing, then atheistophobia, kafirophobia, Christianophobia can be legitimate things too. But that's just silly. Your religion criticizes disbelievers all the time. It criticizes Christians, Jews, and polytheists. It calls for world subjugation and Islamization. So why can't we be phobic of those awful ideas? So stop using that slur as a shield to protect the bad ideas in your religion and bring specific charges. Subboor, I challenge you to show me where David Wood has dehumanized Muslims. I do not think you will find anything except for him criticizing the hateful, terrible ideas we find inside Islam. He repeatedly goes after Muhammad, which I'm sure makes you really mad, a leader of billions now, and by any means is fair game for criticism. His ideas, as selectively preserved by the scholars, is now a myth that is used to control the masses. Definitely, most of what we know about Muhammad is probably not true, but if it is taken as gospel by Muslims, we have every right to attack that myth and show people that we can do better. I mean, the Quran itself speaks about Muhammad's manners and standards as being the best, so it's already asking us to judge him. What should we judge him by exactly? What we all understand to be good behavior, and he definitely didn't have that. So Subboor, instead of bashing David Wood, you should thank him. Thank him sincerely for using his massive platform to bring the suffering of Uyghurs to light. And not with this half-assed criticism that you pretend is a thank you. Do it properly or shut up. Thanks for watching. I've been a bit busy recently and haven't had as much time to make videos. I'm trying to get back into the groove and upload more regularly. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you're new here. If you want to join the team, check out the link to Patreon below. This is your friendly ex-Muslim signing out.